From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the real zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another conversation with Trent and Friends. Good stuff. We're talking about poly relationships. We actually had an email from a very faithful viewer of the show. He's been a faithful viewer of the show for a number of years, and he suggested that we talk about poly relationships. So we're going to bring the ladies in and wanted to talk about is it beneficial for either party? 1, 2, or 3. So is 2 better than 1, or you just take 1? Okay. Let's bring Coach D in. Look like Ursula's bringing up the rear. Let's get Coach D in. Hey. What's going on?
Hey there. How are you?
I'm good. I'm real good. Look like Ursula's getting together back there. Let's pull her in real quick.
Hi.
Miss Ursula, we're going to need to get you a ring light or something, ma'am.
We can't see a thing here, Ursula.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see.
Okay. Y'all can't see me. I need a ring light. I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one. All right.
I got a couple of ring lights here, so you might want to stop by and pick one up. I got a whole bunch of ring lights. So, yeah.
You do? Yeah. I might have to stop over there and get one.
All good.
Let me know when the coast is clear. Because I know you said you was dating.
Knock it off now. How you ladies doing tonight?
I'm good.
Stop it. So we're talking about poly relationships, right? Polyamorous relationships. And is it, is the agreement with the poly agreement is fulfilling for all parties? Again, is a poly relationship, if you're in a relationship, a poly relationship, is it beneficial for all parties? So I talked to a couple of people, man. And actually, by the way, again, like I said in the opening of the show, it comes from my very faithful viewer. I won't call his name, but I'll let you guys know that he is a male. He wanted to talk about, wanted us to talk about poly relationships. That was quite interesting. So I started digging a little bit and talking to a number of my friends, and you'd be quite surprised. The women that I spoke with said that most people don't even realize they're in poly relationships.
Did they say that?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Them women are true.
I also
You can't be in a poly relationship if you don't know. It's not. Poly relationships require consent.
It
you
does.
know what I mean. Exactly, it does. But how many people really telling you the truth these days?
Yeah, but that's not poly, though. We have to be very specific when we're using terms. Being a side chick is not a poly relationship. Somebody's cheating on somebody.
Well, you need to tell the lady that, because some of the majority of the ladies that I spoke with said exactly that.
Well, it's not a polyamorous relationship. Polyamorous relationships, rule number 1 is consent.
It's actually consent. So you'd be surprised, though. I got some numbers that we'll go throughout the show and talk about it. How it's not really a big thing in the States, but with those surveys and
in the Western society.
Exactly. So it's quite interesting, man. Very quite interesting take from some of the ladies and some of the men. I'll share their thoughts as well. But hey, poly relationships, if that's your thing, that's your thing. And most of the time, a lot of people don't even realize that poly relationships don't even have to consist of sex these days, from what I'm finding out.
We talked about that.
Exactly. Everybody putting their nickels together. They just got to know their roles, I guess. I don't know.
And I see we've hopped on in. So under the complexity of polyamorous relationships, that's one of the biggest things, like social stigma. That's the complexity of it. Like,
Right.
People are embarrassed or ashamed of what other people will say because they're doing it,
Right. So
Yeah.
I asked that same question to the people that I talked to, right?
Mhm.
So I was just straight up asking. I was like, "Hey, would you be in a poly relationship?" And with your consent, of course.
Mhm.
And the majority of folks I spoke with, except one person, said, "No, I don't like to share." But the majority of women that I spoke with said, "Yeah, if you're very straight up forward and say what it is, and if I consent to it, yeah." I was really surprised.
I,
I spoke to my brother Carlton, and he was talking about it. He said he didn't have any problems with it as long as everyone knew their role and everybody was, had consent. He wouldn't have a problem with it. You
yeah.
guys got quiet.
Um,
Why'd you guys get quiet?
I'm listening. We
Look like D got something on her mind. Go ahead. Go ahead, D.
so here's the thing. And you already know what I'm gonna say. Here's the thing with the United States. The
Right.
United States are very prudish. And we're stuck in this Christian influenced heteronormative society that's run by the patriarchy. Now,
Right.
when
Right.
most people think polyamorous, they're thinking one guy, two girls, but they forget there's
Right.
the exact opposite as well. And
Exactly.
there's polygamy in the Bible. Like, people like to pretend that it's not, like they don't, like they
Oh, it's
pretend that
definitely there.
we don't sin
It's
every day.
definitely
But here's the thing: people like to yuck other people's yum all the time, right? Because in the
there.
United States, people are
Stop,
very
stop.
vanilla.
Run that back. That was what did you just say?
People like to yuck other people's yum,
Okay.
right?
Gotcha.
What people do behind closed doors is their own
That's their
business.
business. That's their
And
business.
unfortunately, here, people like to get in other people's business. Who you're sleeping with
Right.
is your own problem, right?
Right.
Whatever you're doing with your genitals, as long as you're not breaking the law, have at her. And some of those laws regarding the same-sex sex, and even in Virginia's got some weird laws about sex as well. So it's
Right.
if people are
But Before I get
consenting,
into
then they're fine.
before I get into the comments from the folks that I spoke with, let's say hi to the folks before we dive all in. Before we get all in, one sec.
So it's / Grand Rising Melanie people, greetings Princess Coach D, Urs, and Mr. Epic.
What
Alan
up? What
says
up?
good
What up?
evening.
What up,
And then Slash
Al?
says, what up, brother Al? Sal Brew.
Gotcha. So some of the people I spoke with, again, like I said, it was a majority of women, and then my brother rounded it out. I talked to a man, but all the women was very receptive of that concept if the male was honest. If he was honest about it and it was consensual, they were with it. They were definitely with it. But also, speaking with one young lady, she was like, a lot of people are doing today to going on a rent or going on the house note. I'm like, wow, really? A lot of people. I'm like, oh, okay. So I got some numbers to share with you guys, but go ahead.
What do you mean by going on a rip?
Rent.
Oh, rent.
Got some spasms going on right now. Ursula, why are you so quiet?
I'm just listening right now. I'm just taking it all in.
So my question to you is, would you be receptive to a poly relationship?
Me personally,
Either of you, either.
So one of the reasons why I don't particularly like to post on my page who I am dating is because
Right.
I don't have to do that because I'm pretty much single and dating. So you can pretty much chalk that up as men aren't receptive to poly relationships. I mean, probably won't happen in my lifetime,
You said men aren't. You talking about you talking about men
Yes,
in the
when I
states,
told
right?
you, like the reverse of it is, like men aren't receptive so much to a woman having multiple partners, even if
Right.
you tell them, listen, I'm not in a situation with them, like, I'm not intimate, I'm not being intimate with them like I am with
Right.
you. It's still just they don't believe it. But honestly, men should be more open to it. But
Now, when you say that, men be more receptive to you bringing two males into the relationship,
so
like you having.
men aren't receptive to a woman having multiple partners.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
Like men advocate for it as long as it benefits them.
Some men, because now
Yes.
you new to the platform.
I'm speaking
Okay.
for what when I say men, I'm talking about what is common for me here in the Western society, having had this
Right,
conversation
right.
so many times before. Like
So,
men.
Urs, so
Mhm.
you're new to the conversation, and when people say men or women, I'm always saying some, like some, not all.
Yeah, I get it. I
Everybody don't fit.
understand.
Yeah, everybody don't fit that category.
Yes.
So yeah,
So
man. Go
my
ahead.
experience with conversating with men
Uh-huh.
is they like, why are you not open to it? And I'm saying, like, hey, listen, if that's what we're doing, that's what we are doing. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I
I'm
got you.
cool as long as you, like in my Anthony Hamilton voice, if you're cool, then I'm cool, then we cool, right?
Exactly. I see some
Right?
folks coming in. So we're gonna keep up with this thread. We don't want to lose them. 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Who's that? Mark? That's Slash. What does he say,
We
Urs?
have another serial dater on the show. So, and when I
Hold on.
use
Wait, Urs, before we get let's get this newcomer in here. I
that's
can't see
my
it. I
little
can't read
sister. Hey, Retta.
Hey. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Hey, read her comment. Read her comment, Urs.
She said, no poly relationship for me. One woman, one man. I don't even wear polyester. So,
This is good.
so my youngest sister, we grew up going back to um, the traditional way we were raised
Right.
in a household. But
Right.
oddly enough, we talked about the house that we grew up in, and we talked about how on the outside everybody looked at it in a sense of, oh, it looks like a normal household, but there was definitely some possible unknown poly stuff
I
going
give
on.
you I give you guys as an example of my past life for a bit, right? So when I was talking to this one particular female, she reminded me of a guy who I knew who was in a situation like that, right? And I said, yeah, you know what? He came out to LA with that same thing, man. And they stayed at the condo and hung out with us and everything, right? So they would literally dress together and everything. It would be like the triplets. And they were cool with that relationship. And even back then, I would tell him, I said, somewhere in that relationship, one or two of those women have some insecurity issues. Why on earth would they agree to this? But he had a little money, and they went along with it. They went along with it for years. Went along with that for years. And that's another one of my questions, right? Does a man have to have a certain amount of money to get you guys to cooperate in something like that? And speaking to these young ladies, they were very receptive if they were being taken care of. When they put a dollar amount on it, they was okay with it. That's why I said, is it beneficial to all three parties? D, Ursula.
I don't know.
Um,
Here's the thing. I'm just thinking, like, why are we assuming that it's not beneficial if we are not in the relationships? We don't know about the relationships. Every relationship has its good and bad points. So if
right.
they
Right,
have consent and they've drawn up boundaries for their relationship, then who are
right.
we to say that it's not beneficial? And I have a serious
That's
question
the
about
question, though.
what makes you think they'd be insecure? It's just a
For
different type
me,
of relationship.
well, for me, just with knowing that situation and the way he was very manipulative, I knew he actually pulled some things from that situation to get them, to get
Yeah,
them.
but
I mean,
but
I mean
that's not
that's
a
I've been telling
different
that guy
type
that for
of
years.
situation, though.
I've been telling that guy that for years. That was my personal opinion because I was around him a lot. Even when he came out to LA, he stayed at my place. But
Yeah, but we can't base this all relationships on
not
that.
all relationships, not all relationships. No, I mean if there's an understanding, if people have an understanding, I say roll with the punches, do what you do. But
Um,
the majority of women that I spoke with said, "Well, if he's taking care of his business with me, I don't have a problem with him." I was
So
like, "Is
what's the
that
problem? I'm confused why we even having a deep conversation about it because it seems pretty straightforward to me.
But some women get in their feelings, and men.
Well, if you're gonna
women
just
getting
use,
That's another thing
with
my brother brought up. He was like, he said, if I agree to something like that, 9 times out of 10, she gets in her feelings and she knew what she signed up for.
women typically get in their feelings about it. Some, not all women, because definitely the dynamics have changed and women have become
Right,
a lot more independent. So when we
right,
think
right.
about poly, I think in the Western society we really focus a lot on um fiscal ambition, in a sense, like how are we set up fiscally, our
I
family.
agree.
And
I agree.
women, historically get in their feelings when they feel like they are being cheated in some sense. As long as
Okay.
you keep, that's what a phrase happy wife happy life could kind of come from. That as long
Is that
as
right?
we don't know, people don't know, I'm saying we, I'm not included, but as long as people don't know what's going on a,
Right,
going on, keep it away from my house. But you know what I'm saying? Like, people have made
right.
jokes about this for years, like daddy got a whole family across town or whatever. So it's not, you know, we can sit here and say, we don't necessarily agree. We don't agree. We're going back to that same thing about social stigma. You know what I'm
Right, right,
saying? So because sometimes women in the past have been like, he's just, and I'm using this very loosely when I say this.
mhm.
I recall, the older ladies in my family are, not being, shouldn't have been being in a conversation with my mama, with my mother, and some of the neighbors or her friends talking and saying, I'd be happy when he gone because all he just doggish, all he wants to is
Right, right,
just
right. Here's
like,
here's what here's
I'll
what you
call
guys
it.
will find. You guys will find this interesting. In the Washington
Hmm.
Post, 10.7% respondents in the survey said that they've been in a polyamorous relationship, and 16.8% said they would like to try it among a whole bunch of Americans. What's your
Well,
Hmm,
thoughts on it?
where did they? Was this a Washington Post survey or was
It's
this
a
a general
Washington
survey
Post
done by
article.
somebody else?
It was an article from the Washington Post.
I want to
I
tell
hope
you a
she's
couple of
demographic.
things. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
So a couple of things, I don't like to talk about my side job. So it's not important what I do, but my
Right.
side job leads me into a lot of different places, right?
I
And
know. I
so
know.
my side job, I find myself going to dropping or moving people to a place, right? Where there's a lot of, as you would call, couples going swing, right? They swinging.
Are you? Wait, hold on a second. Are you talking about on?
Gravier Street? Possibly, yes. Yeah,
I gotta
possibly.
say it. I gotta say it. I
And
gotta be a little transparent. I gotta be
look,
transparent. I gotta be transparent. Hold on a second. I've been to that
okay.
place.
So look. I ain't gonna lie. I really bought the park one time and go in and just like
It's,
kind
it's,
of
it's,
just like
it's,
survey it. You know what I'm
it's an
saying?
interesting
Because
situation. Yeah,
the way they explained it is levels to it, and you don't gotta
it's
participate.
serious
You know what
levels
I'm
too.
saying? And so I remember like a coach told me a long time ago about having a fire, and he said, it don't matter where your fire gets started. It matter who puts the fire out, right? So it made me think. Now, here's the thing. I want to be real clear on this because relationships sometimes struggle with keeping the fire going. And this is why this poly word comes up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we going to do? Because honestly, we really want to stay together. You know what I'm saying? Because we got stuff, we got children, we got cars, we taking on, again, a lot of fiscal things that require more than one income in the way we set up. And
let's let the gumbo talk breathe for a second. You just blew my mind with that one. Let's see what Slash says.
I feel like we all over the place.
Slash, does anyone know a poly couple, happy wife, happy life, and is not a happy wife, happy life is not a real thing? If so, what's the origin? I know a few poly couples. A couple are 2 girls, 1 guy. There's a couple, 2 guys, 2 girls, 1 guy, and then 2 guys, 1 girl. Sorry.
But you'd be surprised,
man. I just see their faces for a minute.
And people gotta think. Stop thinking. Okay, people keep going to the low nature. They be thinking about, the intimacy of it in the bedroom. But a lot of times it's not just about that. It's, like, remember, I think like the Bible talks about this, but in a sense of like the king can afford, if you could afford more than 1 woman, you know what I'm saying?
But honestly, I think when we all became Americanized and this whole culture over here, like, that's well known over the pond. That's well known everywhere but here. Like America makes it a stigma. You know what I'm saying? That's taboo and stuff like that. But
we make it a taboo. America has a place on Gravia Street that supports this stuff.
Well, technically, hold on a second. Technically, that's French.
Okay, you're right. It's not the only place. It's not the only place. You know what I'm saying? It's not the only place.
New Orleans have its own way of living and where,
Yes, they do.
Do you know that? You know a lot of French people.
Yes. And so, but we have decided, how our parents have raised us in those traditional households, or close to traditional household as possible, that this is unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? But
I would be very receptive to that if everybody had an understanding. If everyone, was consensual, it would be cool.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be sexual. Like, I'll take one with a very high IQ. I take one who likes to have fun, mix it all up. And it doesn't have to be sexual.
It does. It doesn't.
No, it don't have to. D, I see you brewing. What you got?
I don't know. See, this is where I kind of become very anti-American, because I know America's history. Going back to the, because you're Puritans. Like, everybody, we talk about the Pilgrims coming across from Europe, right? The best did not leave Europe. Let's just put, because the king didn't leave, and none of his friends left, right? The people who left, they were not left because they were being oppressed or anything. They were trying to oppress others. They were trying to force the religious beliefs on others. So they, like, you know what, y'all can go do that somewhere else. And so this is what we have. This is why people get upset about pictures in books and other nonsense, right? It's just, and then I'm like, you know what, people need to just let people be consenting adults,
live, man. Let them
just do their thing, right?
Let them live.
If you want to be in a throuple, be in a throuple. Have your fun.
Mark says,
be safe. Mormons aren't applying to the Western standards. No, they're applying. It's in the Bible, for crying out loud. John, we're not even going to talk about Mormons because they didn't like black people. So that's a whole other conversation.
And Ms. Perkins says,
"What if your woman wanted to bring another man into the poly relationship? That's the whole point of poly relationship. There's multiple people.
Yeah.
So it's all about consent.
It is.
Everybody feels with consent and boundaries, just like any other relationship.
That's what we were saying. Like, a lot of times.
if you open it, you're straight up from the onstart, like, all right, cool. But you can't change your mind once you introduce this man or this woman to that situation. You can't change
Right.
your mind. Wait a minute, you can't change your
Right.
mind.
And we're
If you're
not
gonna
in
change your
Yes, you
mind,
can.
competition.
maybe you should exit the relationship.
Yeah, and
Give
you're
it
not in
a
competition. Because that's another thing. Like sometimes, so let's go to a recent situation that happened in that we all know about with an entertainer that
Yeah.
was just disbarred from whatever. And so rumors started surfacing about, and it was just rumors, I don't know, it's allegations or whatever, about him saying, hey, look, she was better than you, or her skin was prettier, or whatever. That is not a polyamorous relationship. That
No,
is,
it's not.
you now we're comparing, now we're competing. This is specifically about two people consenting to. This is why we should consider this, because this is how we're set up. This is not working. This is, and this
Yeah,
is why we should move towards this. And you have to set your standards. You have to set your
definitely.
standards. That was one of the things. Like, if you did decide to go this route, you know what I said. I told you I was going to handle this like we were on a phone conversation. If you
Go
if
ahead.
you
Go
set
ahead.
your standards, you have to be open. That is the first thing. Opening, honesty, right? And
There you go.
you got to have support from the people who are all involved, because everybody needs to know. That here's the thing. This is the line, and this is what we're not gonna cross. Because we're not saying, okay, now we're involved in the poly, we're all cool, and now somebody
Mm.
decide we're gonna go cross town, and this is how we gonna move. How is that gonna affect us? You know what I'm saying? And the children
Right.
and the people we have involved here. And then there's the again, a lot of times people do it for personal growth. Like, I want to be your friend. I want to stay connected to you. I don't want to leave you. We got a beautiful bond. We were friends before we, started
Right.
other things or became intimate or whatever. And I would like to maintain that. And so this, could this conversation could happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it has to be honesty and open. And then you can't worry about what the social stigma is and what people gonna
No,
say,
you can't.
because I wouldn't do this. Well, that's you. You know what I'm saying? Because
So when I wrote
honestly,
this up,
Mhm.
you guys know how wordplay, and I use the word fulfilling for a reason, and for all parties,
Yeah,
right? To make people think,
right.
give them a thought-provoking thought. Like, wow, is it really fulfilling to add another person to this relationship? Like, is everyone going to be fulfilled? Yes, you guys can be fulfilled if there's honesty and transparency on the table. But if it's if it's false pretense, you're doing some other stuff, nah, it's not gonna be fulfilling. It's not. It's gonna be a lot of
Mhm.
chaos. Gonna be a lot of drama. But if you bring everything to the table, everybody get naked and place it on the table, not physically naked, but as far as being transparent,
All
it's,
right,
it should be
right,
able to work. And just like D
right,
say, just make sure you're careful and everybody's responsible. And it always doesn't have to
right,
be about sex. We don't have to go to the bottom part. You know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah,
I mean,
I always say
you
you
could
don't
be
have to go to
involved
the
with
low name. Right,
exactly. You could be involved with two different women and love them two totally different ways and
right.
for two different reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Because like
That
sometimes I feel like men have said, well, I have heard men say, my wife, I had these children with her. She got into the kids and she started to forget about me. And, she's kind of, how they said, like, not boring, but kind of like, too into the kids and not,
lackadaisical, stagnant,
and she doesn't
yeah,
dress up anymore and she doesn't make herself
non-spicy. I
adorable.
get it.
Yeah. And she like, listen, if you're looking for that, that ain't where I'm at. You done gave me like these kids, and I'm trying to take care of this, and you know what I mean. So it's
Right.
all kind of dynamics, And again, it has to be people who consent. They have a lot of people who do not consent, and when you don't consent, now there's another conversation because then people do step out. You know what I'm saying? Because now
Right.
you have
Right.
told
Right.
them, I do not consent to this. You know what I'm saying? And that's, but honestly, if people was honest and upfront, forthcoming, and say, hey, this is where we are, this is where we set up. I ain't, whatever.
Right.
You know, as far
Slash
as
to the comments. Slash to
the
the
night, the
comments.
night, the dynamics can be complex, but you know,
What Slash say?
he said you spitting bars tonight.
What up, Slash?
He also said it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind. So I started laughing because he was talking about when I said, once the rules are set, and like you said, you have the conversation,
Yeah,
if
I mean,
you know, and
if you had that conversation, if you can't go along with it and your feelings and got some other way, you're very emotional with it, maybe it's time for you to rethink this contract,
yeah,
you know,
one of the
and
main
just be
things you
honest about
cannot
it.
be, yeah,
And we're
one
gonna
of the,
always give you guys some straight talk here on the conversation. You know,
yeah,
that's just like if you agree to this is what you agreed to, and you have to agree to move
right,
forward. If you
right,
can't deal with it no more, but that's called adulting. You know what I'm saying? We
right,
go in these relationships playing these games and want to bring these extra people in, but how many people in that relationship is being fulfilled?
right,
That's the question. That's the question. And are you being honest about that? When you present
right,
that to that lady, or when that lady is presented to that man, are you really being honest about your intentions?
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
That this is where the chain breaks when honesty is out the door. Just like D
right,
said, hey man, keep it a buck and keep it clean.
right.
Simple and mean. Life is simple, man. We as humans, we make that shit hard.
Yes, yes. I know one of the main reasons why you can't do it. The main reason you can't be in a polyamorous relationship is because of jealousy.
There you go.
I
Jealousy.
disagree.
Go ahead,
Not
D.
everybody,
Well,
Dig in. What you say? Dig in. Dig in.
not everybody gets jealous.
You said everybody?
no, not
Yeah.
everybody.
Not every, yeah, here's the thing. People like to put heteronormative rules on other relationships that don't exist within those
Right.
other relationships.
What does that look like?
Yeah.
That's like traditional relationships, like people. And I firmly don't believe that there are roles with your gender, because not everybody works that way. Because I'm really good at fixing things. My
Right.
ex-husband, not so much. So gender roles don't work. It's whatever works best with the person. Whoever does things
Right.
better does the things, right?
Right.
So here's the thing. I find here in the US, people have a tendency to be very strict on what is heteronormative and what is to be expected. And anything
Mhm.
Right.
outside that realm is questioned.
Right. I
Like,
get it. I
are they
get it.
fulfilled? Do they get jealous? What's in it for everybody? What?
Right.
Why? And instead of
And I got to
going,
be
hey,
honest with you, man.
let them do their
I
thing.
got. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Will you finish?
Yeah, I was finished.
Okay. And I got to be honest with you guys, man. When I was moving around the world, I realized that United States that just wasn't it. That wasn't it
Yeah. Yeah.
at
I was about
all.
to say, like, yeah, you soon find that out when you travel, because just from me
When you
traveling.
travel, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say just from me traveling, and I've only been out the country, I want to say one time so far, but just in
Is that
that
right?
one time, just that one time, but just going to places like New York, which is the biggest city of people that immigrants, really, it's one of the biggest
Yeah.
cities, immigrants, about people of all cultures, and so you learn so much about from about other cultures. And
Yeah.
I would say,
This is
like, our culture, we
yeah,
we
we're
really,
caged. We're caged. We're really caged in
yes,
that bubble.
we
Yeah.
are, and we are really, I don't we are really, when it comes to the low nature, that's a big thing for us. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I
a
get it.
lot of times when it comes to intimacy or sex, we understand the word sex, we can say that word, right? When it comes
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
that, when it comes to sex, it's like we think we almost make that run our lives sometime. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
no, we can't, I should, I will, I won't, or whatever. But sex is the
Right.
driving force. people are so beyond that. Yes, it happens. Yes, it's there. Yes, it's a thing. But
Right.
there's so much more. You know what I'm saying? And that is why sometimes, in my mind, we're not where we want to be fiscally as a race because of that. You know what I'm saying? What society, the societal stigmas, and how we move about,
What's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on what Ursula just said?
We're not that far from societal stigmas. No, I don't think it's a
Yeah,
lot
as
more
far
than
as
society.
go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, we are not that. We are not as far ahead because of systematic and racism, right? We
Right.
lost
Absolutely.
a lot of generational wealth with burning of a lot of towns
I agree
in the
with
early
that.
Absolutely.
1900s, right?
I
We
agree with
lost Black Wall Street, right? We lost multiple towns where people have been killed. There's a whole pile of stuff that's in place, like
Yeah.
not being able to universities, not be redlining. Like Baltimore is the home of red line. You can literally go to Baltimore, and you can see where the red line is, because you can go to
Right.
one street, gorgeous. You can literally look at that street and come around the other side of that building, and it's a completely different neighborhood due to redlining.
Yeah. Well, that is in a sense of America being built, but I'm talking about like in general, like I'm talking about just in general, the African American race as a whole. Like, if we had to think about the transatlantic slave trade and what must have happened before, and when we were taken from, if that's the case of what happened, because if you think about the Bible, and the Bible. Listen, I'm not trying to challenge anything in it either, but the
But
Bible does talk about polygamy, and at the same time,
it
it
does.
contradicts it. But it does talk about it. Like, there were people who had multiple, relationships.
Everybody was
That
happy.
kept
Everybody was happy. Everybody was very
so,
happy. Let's
but
get
at
to
the
the
same
content.
time, let
Let's get to the comment real quick.
Mark said, let's not get flagged. Please pronounce it. Say.
No, 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 no. We're using proper terminology.
He want us to talk like babies.
No,
That's all good. It's all good. So
no.
yeah,
Say doing
I
it.
find it quite interesting that the majority of women was receptive to that type of relationship if there was honesty involved. And you'd be surprised. I tell people all the time. I tell my brothers all the time. You'd be quite surprised what a woman to go for when you're totally honest with her.
Mm-hmm.
If she's into you, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. You really would. All you have to do is place honesty on the table. And if she's receptive, she'll tell you. If she's receptive of it, she'll be like, cool. If not, hey, that's not for me.
Yeah.
It's your opportunity to look for the exit door if you're looking for two.
I
That's
remember
so funny.
quite a few years ago, I remember having this conversation with a friend of mine, and we would have arguments about it because my mindset was like, now I'm gonna go on out here and say what I said at the time. I said, it's I said some stuff because you know who I am. I said, how you gonna feel like you could be taking on two people or three when you might could afford it fiscally, but you might really can't afford it romantically. And you
Right.
really might can't afford it if we was talking about performing acts to satisfy people, right?
Right.
Like you
Okay.
really, so you really gotta, I mean, that's what I would say. Like you ain't probably good at the first place, and now you trying to go on down to the second and third place to drop off, pecans over there, and you ain't got enough pecans here. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't doing good here, what make you think you gonna be good at, B and C? Unless
Right.
unless they just take they
So
2 pecans or 3 pecans.
well,
You know what I'm saying? But he'll probably need about 4 or 5 or 6 pecans. You know what I'm
this is a real
saying?
guy. This is a real guy.
Huh? Yeah,
You talking about a
it's a
real?
real conversation. And you know what? We all adults here. So if you know what's another word for pecans, how you gonna go and just shortchange people? You ain't
I
that
knew
good.
I
You
knew it
know?
was a real story. I just didn't realize you was gonna say it. So
No, I wasn't saying he was like that. I'm saying
yeah,
that's what my argument would be like. You ain't
right.
you ain't handling business here like you supposed to be intimately, and now you
So
trying
he
to go
shouldn't
way
even be bringing
over
that up,
here.
right? So he shouldn't be bringing it up. I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I
like
get it.
don't come, you know what I'm saying? And then if I say, hey, that's all you got for me, and I'm like, look, I'm gonna go ahead on and step over here, and you know what I'm saying? And then now we're gonna be like, oh, you a cheating. Women get, the social stigma of, we garden tools and stuff. No, we
And
really
that
not
takes me.
garden. We trying to
Hearing you
say
say that,
I didn't
hearing
get
you
enough
say that,
pecan. Huh? Huh?
hearing you say that takes me back to a podcast Coach D and I did when we talked about. Hey, you remember I can't remember the topic escapes me. When we talked about arrangements and contracts. You remember what show that was, D?
I do not
Over
remember
in the
the show.
Middle East. Over in the Middle East, we talked about arrangements when a guy would
Oh,
actually
yeah,
present
yeah.
that he would present her with a contract, and she'd go for it. Over in the Middle East, that is.
Mhm.
They're they'll negotiate on the number of kids, and if the relationship dissolves, where the kids are going to go, with which parent.
Listen,
No,
I
serious
listen.
thing.
I will be very straight up. I will never negotiate the number of times again because every time I have, they've never kept up their end of the bargain.
Right.
If you can't keep up, because I have Trent, I have a very very high sex drive, and you know what? I ain't even gonna play.
Go ahead.
If
What
you need to
D?
negotiate a number with
Not
me,
you, D.
you're off
Wait.
my list. You're off
I
my
need
list
you to all
already.
the way. D.
No,
You put me out there to the world. You- For one second. Wait.
I need
D,
some
you
water
put me
so I
out there
gotta
to the
drink
world.
too.
what? I mean, listen,
D,
I am not. I wasn't raised here, so I have a
D, I told him
different view.
I told folks that you were my ex. I didn't tell them we were having sex.
What
Oh
did you
Lord.
think we were doing? Knitting?
What?
Stop, D. Stop. Okay.
I
Now
love it.
what'd you say? What'd you say, nurse?
You
Ooh,
see?
Don't ask me
I wasn't
questions you don't want
expecting that
answers
one.
to.
I love this
I
show.
shouldn't even ask that question. I shouldn't even
Wait,
ask that. Ernst, go to. I need a minute. Go ahead, Ernst.
wait. I want to focus on Mr. Epic. He gonna sit up here and say something like, not Epic, Mr. Slash gonna say 2 or 3. I've heard one person trash, one person's trash is another person's treasure. Plus you gotta gather nuts for the winter. Like, I don't know what none of that means. Like, that's all Chinese. I don't not to say I just it's foreign to me. I don't understand that. Like, I can't unpack that. Like, and that's the thing, like, women, like, not all women, but a lot of women who have been raised in
I need a minute.
traditional
D got
households.
me flustered. D have me flustered. Is
I'm
that even
like,
a
come
word?
on, bro. That ain't look, come on, look, we got it. The show must go on. Look,
Go
the show
ahead. You
must
got it.
so look. So
Go ahead.
women, not all, now I don't want to say all, but typically in a lot of cases where women was raised in traditional households, and we all nice, and you come around and you see how we was raised out, even
Right.
not traditional households, you get a person into a marathon and now we're, participating in the act, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Right.
it ain't nothing like, somebody like quitting after like 2 or 3. Like, you just be like, what? Like,
Right.
like, and it's
Now
so much that
I
can.
will say this after speaking to a good number of women and a good number of men. I'd say women are more logical thinking when it comes to a poly relationship because they're thinking about the fiscal side. They're thinking about how's the house going to be run. The man, he's always thinking about the sex.
Yeah.
Gotta be honest, folks. Sorry, fellas, but that's what I gathered. Most women are thinking from a logical standpoint, how we gonna live? How's everything gonna be set up? They thinking structured, you thinking with your penis.
Right.
Yeah.
We thinking about respect and disrespect. A lot of and guys are thinking about, yeah, I can handle this. And I'm like saying, no, really, you probably can't.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
you probably can't, because that's another thing. Like a lady, you will be thinking like, yeah, the ship didn't sail as far as for a lady in her sex drive or whatever, because now she raising kids, and honestly, she got a whole new heart that she didn't, the kid's gone now, and I got my life back, and I got all this extra energy and extra time, and you know what I'm saying? You go ahead and go to sleep. I'm gonna just say that. Go ahead and sleep on us if you want to. Go to sleep if you
You
want
want to
to.
add to this?
You know what? I'll add something that people aren't gonna like. The reason most women are tired in relationships and aren't in the mood is because they're the only one doing the parenting. So if people were helping, if their spouses were helping them do the parenting, they would have a lot more action going on in the bedroom. And people forget that romance is an all-day thing. It's not as soon as they come in the bedroom, give them a quick rub and they're ready to go. It doesn't
It
work
is.
that
You're
way.
right, and that is so true. That's
Yeah,
true.
so
That's true. That is so true. That is
that's why
so
people.
true.
Yeah.
And I wanna say one thing. I wanna go back and address earlier in the show, Mr. Slash said, "Oh, we have another serial dater on the show." So I wanted to go, and I don't want to get off into that. I'm not a serial dater. I'm very careful with whom I spend my time and how I spend my time. I really spend a lot of time, as you know, Trent, worrying about and being fiscally ambitious. Period. Occasionally, someone will get my attention and I might have dinner, similar to the way me, you, Shan, and Mark had dinner.
Yeah.
You remember that? Okay. So occasionally I do that.
Okay.
And I don't post. So that's what I do. Now, now I'm gonna just go ahead and say what upset me is that we did take the pictures and y'all posted the pictures, which Shan was in town and everything, and I'm gonna let y'all have that. But I don't typically do that because it ain't nobody business who I'm having dinner with.
Here's the thing, though. Well, you know me. I'm just gonna do what I do.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
We're
It's
gonna
cool.
take a picture. We're gonna take a picture. You know what I'm
And
saying?
we all are friends, and I feel like we're all
I,
friends. We're
I
all
feel
family. We family, and it's all good, and that's how I felt. But I will have dinner. I'll have lunch. It ain't everybody business with whom I'm doing this, and the nature of the relationship at the time I'm doing it.
absolutely.
So I'm just gonna say that, and I, like to keep my business like that off. It's not we wasn't putting it on social media 20 years ago, so it don't need to be on there now.
Well, she answered just slash comes back one more time. He's got a doozy here. One sec. Let's see.
What did he say?
There we go. You go ahead. You can read it.
D, read the comment if you don't mind.
We may have been so-called raised traditionally from our youth. Once we get out here, plenty of selective memories of how they grew up. Let's really keep it 100. What's done in the dark is the next one. He just says, what's done in the dark. Listen, man, if you're grown and doing grown things, as long as everybody is consensual and you're being safe, because the STD rates are outrageous right now, do you. Don't care what other people think. As long as you're doing what you want to do and you're legal, you're consensual, you're good, right?
Boom, boom, boom.
Last week, I think it was last week before I went back to the gym, because I can say it now. I injured myself. That's why I wasn't in the gym. I was at Barnes & Noble working on the book, but I injured myself. I was banned from the gym by my doctor. But I did a daily quote. I do these daily quotes in the morning, and I talked
I
about
love them
how.
all.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I talked about how enjoy life, whatever life looks like to you. Enjoy life. If it's with
Mhm.
multiple women, enjoy it, but do it safely. If it's not, I enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy yoga. That's my thing. That's what I enjoy. Oh, you need to get out and go to dinner occasionally, but I enjoy working out. I
Occasionally,
enjoy yoga. I enjoy
me too.
everything about the gym, everything about being fit, everything about nutrition. This is what I enjoy. I enjoy everything about talking about
Right,
trauma. That's what I enjoy.
right.
Enjoy life, whatever it looks like to you.
Mhm.
D.
Yeah, I'm. Listen, I am the same way because I firmly believe that what people do in their bedrooms is their own damn business.
Right,
Right?
right, right.
As long as you're being legal, you're both consensual. There's no anything icky or illegal involved. You know what? Do you? Like we have
I
some
gotta, I
stupid
gotta
ass
give,
rules.
I gotta give my favorite niece a very big shout out. She just sent me a shout out for us on her TV at Taylor Kennedy on TV. There it is, right there.
Cool.
I see you, Deja May. Appreciate you. I
Oh
love you.
wow.
Mhm.
We're
Oh,
actually
that's
streaming
nice.
all
I
over the
like
world. Good
Mhm.
stuff, man.
Yeah,
Good stuff. Real good
and
stuff.
I'm sure we'll probably. I would. I'm not sharing my email anymore because I'm tired of the hate mail. To be honest, y'all are just nonsense. It's just nonsense.
Hey, you got access to the Gumbo Talk. So
Yeah.
anybody that want to throw hate mail to Coach D, Gumbo Talk at Taylor Kennedy Media. No, I'm sorry. Gumbo Talk at TaylorKennedyOnline.com. So you want to talk to Urs or Coach D, those guys, get I see the emails and whatnot. We appreciate the viewer who actually sent that topic in this week. Actually, when I called Urs, I didn't even call D because she already knows what the shits. So I call Urs, and I was on my edible situation as I was talking to her. I was telling her about it. So I'm back, at the gym and back to my doctor. Got the edible going on. So I'm doing the topic once I got the topic in, right? So I call Urs as I'm writing it up. I was like, Urs, we talking about polyamory. What's going on? Honestly, I don't know if it was the edibles, but there was a delay in the conversation. So were you apprehensive? Were you reluctant to say, okay, we're gonna do it this way? What were you
Well,
reluctant when I said it?
I wasn't reluctant. So let's just be very transparent and say,
Wait, what? So what you saying? It wasn't a weed. It wasn't a weed. The delay wasn't a
no.
weed. It was really a delay.
I just want to go. I want to go on record and be transparent.
Go ahead.
And
I'm
say that
asking you a question first, though. I'm asking you,
what?
was it was it the edibles or were you delayed? Was it me or the edibles or you?
I
Were
think it
you?
was a delay. It was me. It was me. It was
Okay,
me.
got
It was
you.
a
Go ahead. Go
delay.
ahead. Go ahead.
It was a delay. It was me. It
Go
was
ahead.
me. So, um, and it was a delay because I was like, now we know people have a tendency, I typically judge people from, this kind of stuff and what they talk about. And I ain't trying to go on record saying I'm into polygamy, you
Right.
know,
Right. Right. Right.
um, because I don't try to stray too far from the traditional way I was raised.
Right.
However, I pretty much or basically raised my kid in a very non-traditional format, right? Than
Right.
what I was raised, and so like I said, I would always argue with a friend of mine and his family member about it, but the whole time, kind of in a sense, I guess I was right there in the middle of it myself, and so
Right.
um it made me think. Like, I'm always, before I respond, I try to think only in times like this when we're like actually, covering, having coverage and talking as everything's going on. I may not think thoroughly about it, but that's why I was quiet the first 10 minutes, because I just wanted to just listen
Right.
and take it all in, before
Right.
I
Right.
start
Right. Right.
responding.
Yeah,
So yeah.
so I find it quite interesting, man. Like even with YouGov in 2023, 34% of Americans said that their ideal relationship is not completely monogamous, and men are more likely than women to accept polygamy.
And that's the facts. That's what I said. Like they
Right,
with the women doing it. Like
right.
you about who? Why? And I remember like telling this guy that I dated and we was in a relationship for a short period of time
Mhm.
about a close friend I had lived in the East. And, I said, oh, yeah, I'm going, hang out with him and eat, hang out. And he was like, I don't really trust that. And, that something don't seem right about that and all of
Right,
that.
right,
So,
right.
it again, it prompted me to think about what people think about though. And most of the time, people don't trust what they're doing. You
Right,
know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like people know what they're doing, so they don't trust what you're doing because they think you're doing the same thing. When I'm telling you, so I'm being very honest. But to bring that all the way back to polygamy,
Right.
when you're honest in upcoming, you'll be surprised how people will receive the honesty. You know what I'm
And I
saying?
give you, I give you guys another number here for match 24 singles in America. 1/3 of American singles polled and said they've been in a consensually non-monogamous relationship. 1/3. That's a lot of people.
Like what about it even now? Like we're all single in a sense. Well, maybe not you, but I don't think Dee's married. And so, you may meet somebody who's quite interesting, but hey, they might have a little relationship going on that they maybe need to figure it out.
Right.
And if the people are honest and tell you, hey, this is what I have, you know what I'm
You'd be
saying? You can
surprised. You'd
deal
be
with
very
them,
surprised.
you'll be
Exactly.
surprised how they feel like, because look, I know I'm over 50. So I can't try to go around here reducing what people had before they met me. That's not who I am.
Exactly.
If that's what you had, that's what you had. And I'm accepted, if I want to be your friend, right? If somebody's your friend, they
Exactly.
accept you as you are.
That's it. That's it, man. And again, I wrote that up like that just to get some thought-provoking thoughts from these guys. You know what I'm saying? In an arrangement, in a poly arrangement, is all parties being fulfilled. That's
Yeah.
being responsible. That's being very honest. You know what I'm saying? If you're not being, fulfilled, speak on it and leave the relationship.
And it's
Period.
fulfilled
But
doesn't
this is
always
where
mean, I'm sorry
go
to
ahead. I'm
interrupt
sorry.
you.
No, you good. Go
Fulfilled
ahead.
doesn't always mean go to the low nature. Are you being
No, not
sexually
at all.
fulfilled? It could be
Exactly.
like just a multitude of things.
Exactly. And
A lot of
honestly,
people are in marriages and are empty.
that's true.
I'm sorry.
From the folks,
A lot of people,
I spoke with, more women are very, again, I'll say it again, more women are very receptive to it in a responsible way. They're very
right.
receptive to it in a very
Yeah.
responsible way. So, hey, you know,
Yeah.
that's it is what it is. Let's get to the last comments. We're gonna get out of here. D was a little spicy today. D, I see. I couldn't
Uh,
believe you invite people, and say like Slash said, you didn't open the French doors of our past relationship.
dude, we're all about
Makes me proud.
transparency. Like, it is what it
Yeah, you're
is.
right. Yeah, right. You're right.
Slash says, so as far as tonight's topic, Mr. Epic, how's your house rules set up?
Wait, what did he say? What did he say?
So as far as tonight's topic, Mr. Epic, how's your house rules set up?
You want to know how you
My
handling your
house,
business.
my house rule is 8. I mean, I'm rolling just like I've always rolled. So,
You
sometimes,
kind of
sometimes I'm sorry.
you kind of said it. You said, your importance is your health. Your health is your wealth.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to be going out to eat all the time.
Nah, I don't. I don't.
Somebody want to date you, they can hang out with you at the at the fitness center.
And they can go to fitness center and there's a cafe there, real nice. They got a lot of stuff going on over there. Like, well, Urs, you've been there. Real nice. You know what I'm saying? We can sit by the pool or get in the sauna, and you know what I'm saying? That's cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh,
I
you can
like it
come
like
out to the
that.
house. If you're lucky, you can come out to the house and enjoy Kobe and I over some dinner and watch some Netflix and chill. I got all the TV you need. So yeah. Y'all a mess. 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 D, what's going on with you, man? What's
I
going on
don't
with
know,
you?
man. You sound old as heck right now.
So, you know what, D? You didn't. This is your second time saying that in 2 weeks.
Hmm.
Just because I'm a little settled in my age at this point, I can I can still bring that noise now. Knock it off now. Still bring that
I doubt it.
noise. So hey, let me tell you something. I'm gonna say it like I'm always writing it, right? Ain't nothing changed but the limp. Ain't nothing changed but the limp. I walk
Oh
with a
yeah.
limp now, but I'm still the same Trent.
So here's the thing: women hit their sexual peak in their mid-40s.
There you go with that. Mm-hmm.
So
It's
yeah,
true.
get back to me when you yeah. That's
Stop,
why I
D.
say,
What'd
listen,
you say?
no,
I'm
don't.
go ahead on out here and say it. Trent, you know you my boy, right? You know I
Yeah.
love you, right? You know I
What you
love
got?
you, right? But
Yeah, go with it.
the way D said it, D said, listen.
They
D
try to be
said
polite, but you know,
she said she ain't playing with nobody right now. She ain't taking no prisoners.
you know.
No, it's all
I
good. It's
love it.
definitely all good, man. Tell the folks where they can find you, man. So because I'm trying to get this monetization across the board for these ladies, man. What's your
Yeah.
TikTok, Urs? What's your TikTok? Do you know your TikTok this week?
Destination Nola Ursula Johnson.
You have to send it to me so I can put it up on the screen for you,
I
man.
will. I will. I say that
Oh,
every week, don't I? I need to do
yeah,
that.
absolutely, absolutely. You got to focus, man. You got to focus. Coach
No
D.
disrespect.
Yeah. So my TikTok and my Instagram are Coach D Layler. My website is dlayler.com. I actually just finished Xavier's website tonight. So my Shopify will be switching over to my website tonight, tomorrow. So everything will be in one spot, easy for everybody to get to.
I
I
like
forgot to
that.
tell you guys. I forgot to tell you guys. You guys now have the option to stream to all your social sites. So the link that I send you guys, you can take them wherever you want to take them.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So it'll be like you're live, not
Mm.
just I'm
Okay.
always preaching like, hey, yeah, it's conversation with Trent Friends, but
So
these
TikTok
actually
too.
these ladies help me more than you know, more than you ever know. So yeah, you guys could actually stream from your own
You want to do the
platforms.
stream to TikTok?
Yeah.
This was
That
fun.
same link, the same link I send you,
Yeah.
you can go in multiple directions.
I'll
I
get
have a
I'll get the
question.
list up.
I had
Go
one
ahead.
more question. I know we're coming to an end, but I noticed that Mr. Slash
Flag.
was asking about how you operate your household. I would be
Yeah.
curious to know, just for data, collecting data, how is he set up in his household? Just
Girl, Slash. Let me tell you about Slash. We already had this
Uh-oh.
conversation. Slash, if you go on a date and you like go to one multiple things from multiple places, Slash ain't the man to do it. We already decided he's low effort, so you know.
What- I don't know. What was that? Was that 2 years ago or last? Which that
I
had to
think
be
that was
about two
last
years.
year. It was like last
It was
year.
last year.
Yeah.
So we're talking about, you coming over, Slash coming over to whoever house it is, the woman of interest, and she wants multiple food items from different locations. Slash said, get somebody else to do it. He said he said he's not doing it. Get somebody else to do it. So he calls the uproar with that. So, and I totally I disagree with him. As you know, we don't always disagree, but I disagree with him on that. Like I'll stop at if it's three places, she's going over 5, 10, then we gotta have a conversation. But
Yeah, don't
two,
ask
three
somebody what
places.
they want if you're not going to do it.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Elements.
Yeah, so
That's a
take
shame.
Slash. I'm sure is a sweetheart, but take him with a grain of salt. I disagree with him more than I agree with him, so it is what it is.
Unless they're talking about Black history. Now, if they're talking about Black history, or they
Then we're usually on the same page.
on the same page. But anything else, they bumping heads.
Nobody's gonna discuss Black history all night. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't the
Oh yes,
people
we
ain't
can.
doing it.
Oh, yeah,
I
we
know.
definitely can. We definitely can.
Yeah, we
Oh,
can,
yeah,
but
you
I'm
know,
just saying.
yeah,
If you're
we
dating,
can. Sometimes we got to bring the noise to the people. We're actually broadcasting in 175 different countries and regions now. I mean,
yeah, but you know, I feel like our shows could, is touches all people. It's about people.
yeah, absolutely. We're gonna have to do that.
It's
Definitely
about
do that,
Black
people.
man.
history is American history. It's just not taught. Like
Yeah.
people think that slaves were brought over. No, enslaved people were brought over. Teachers, artists, doctors, farmers were brought over. A lot of the farming stuff that was brought over by our ancestors were not farmed here in America. It's African rice.
Absolutely.
Watermelon is not native to America. Okra is not native to America.
At all. That's an African dish, by the way.
Yeah, those
Oh,
took
okay.
skill. So they
And these are some of the things this is why I love Canada so much. I fell in love with Canada. Fell in
no,
love with
we're
the
just as bad.
relationship I was
We are
in.
just as bad. Just as
Yeah, but
bad.
I love Canada, man. It's a very good melting pot, and it was nice. My time spent
You
in Canada was very, very enlightening. Let's just say
How
that.
Yeah,
often
because
you
I
went
didn't
to
show you
Canada?
a
How
melting
much
pot.
time
I
did
showed
you?
you diversity. I showed you
We-
Toronto is one of the most diverse countries in the
It
world.
is.
Right?
What would you say? We could say, Eris. What'd you say?
It's not
I said, how
uh,
often you was in Canada when you were moving about? How often were you in Canada?
A lot.
every 3 weeks.
I like it.
A
I
lot.
like
A
it.
lot. Yeah,
I
a
like
lot.
it. I
Yeah,
like
but
it.
there's no country that is free of racism. It's everywhere.
It's
I
true.
There's a
believe
lot of countries in denial about it. Like Canada's in denial about it. We just do racism nice.
Right.
That's all.
So, hey, so what do you
We
guys
laugh.
before we get out of here? What do you guys think about us being available and accessible, to the gumbo talk in 175 different countries and regions? What y'all think
And
about
it's amazing.
that? That's
Yeah, I
That's
do
the
good, man.
thing.
too.
No matter where we're at, no matter what culture we are, most of us have the same problems.
Exactly.
That's right. I say
I
that.
was working.
I
I was
think
working on a write up about us, and I started off by saying from the West Bank of New Orleans to Algiers to Canada to the Netherlands to France, literally in France twice a month with Coach Catherine doing that over there. That is really amazing how people are taken back to this conversation, and the conversation that we have now is on a completely different level than I ever had conversation. I've been doing this almost 20 years. It's on a
You're welcome.
whole different level. What'd you say? What'd you say?
I said you're welcome.
I'm not gonna say nothing slick because my French doors are you didn't open my French doors already. So
I think everything we said tonight was very interesting. I actually enjoyed tonight's show. I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Very good. I'm
that's
just
good
spicy
stuff.
tonight because I got some of my work done. So
I
Oh,
like
wait,
it.
hey, if you was gonna come in spicy, you should have dropped the hair like I used to like it. Good, put some
You know
curls on.
what? Not not
I am more than my hair, sir. I am more than
uh-huh.
my hair. There's a whole other conversation.
A lot of folks be
I'm
saying,
finished.
when they go to the website, they'll go to Taylor Kennedy online and they see Coach D with her hair down, right? It's like, I didn't
Yeah.
know she had that long hair like that. It's like, yeah, she does.
I think I might. My hair is going gray. I might just go straight platinum and
Is that right?
yeah,
That's a good look.
because it's natural. Like if you look at my hair, it's naturally a lot more platinum than anything else now. So I may
Right.
just do a
Call it
storm
black.
look. I do like storm. So it is what it is. But
Gotcha.
life. Here's the thing, people. For all the people around the world, love each other. Don't put up with BS. If people are toxic, walk away. And for the people who are fighting for freedom in countries all around the world, my heart is with you because we are very blessed to live in North America, and
Exactly.
we don't see a lot of the repercussions of the actions that our government take that people end up having to fight for. So for all the people in Africa fighting for freedom, all the people in Palestine fighting for freedom, and they are fighting for freedom. They have been occupied since the 40s. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
we need to have a conversation about the ramifications of colonialism on other countries and how that affects people. We're getting ready to vote. It's a new generation voting, Gen Z.
That'll be a good topic for next week if you guys want to jump into it.
What's that?
The one
Voting?
you just spoke.
Listen, I would love to have a conversation about Project 2025 because a lot of people don't know about it. They haven't read it, and it's hundreds and hundreds of pages of rights being taken away and nonsense.
Exactly.
What's
up? What's up? Y'all want to do that?
Yes.
Project 25 it is.
We can do Project 2025. I don't know. I am ready.
A ton of people don't know. All these brothers out there screaming Trump haven't read that, man. I haven't even gotten through the entire thing. It's just, man, this.
Harriet said to herself, she could have freed 1,000 more if they knew they were not free.
Exactly.
Right? White adjacency is a drug. People think that being adjacent to power gives them power, but when it comes down to it, when people start looking around, they see them like they see us.
Exactly.
My friend who's a cop. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say my friend who's a cop. He's like, when I'm in blue, it's all back to blue. As soon as I'm out of blue, I'm just another black man.
On that note, we're gonna get away from that because they'll cut the stream when they go to use a certain person. So they'll cut that stream real quick.
Yeah, I know.
We'll close us out, Urs.
Yeah. As always, good people be epic.
Go as D, close us out.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Remember, consent, boundaries, and keep it legal and keep it safe. Get tested. Make sure you go get tested together and you look at your paperwork. Don't trust anybody about anything when it comes to your health.
Yes.
Well, Ursula, let me show you how much.
Take jealousy. Go ahead.
Let me tell y'all how much I love Urs. I told Urs today, right before the show, maybe an hour or two. I was like, yeah, Urs, you're permanent on the show. And she didn't even realize it. And they got promotional stuff with all the three of us in it. She's like, oh, I'm permanent? Oh, I'm permanent? Yes.
What's her name? Is she an emoji too now?
I think he's that.
Does she have an avatar?
I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't hear you.
Does she have her little avatar?
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh,
yeah. So it's all good. All to the good. All to the good.
Yeah.
So until next week, we'll be talking about Project 25, folks, and from the Canadians to the Netherlands to France, and right here in the States, even on the West Bank. Appreciate you guys. You guys be epic.
Ciao. A bientôt.
Bye-bye. Good night, guys.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.